A lot is on the line here for the two teams that are about to face each other. Team UK, the United Kingdom against Finland. Both of those teams couldn't really convince too much in their first round of sets, so they're gonna try to balance it and equalize it out by taking a win here. It's gonna be a long road for sure. Best of three is no slouch, but the Nexus games so far, they just continue to impress, and I couldn't be happier to be at this place.
I am thoroughly enjoying myself here, but like you said, this is these teams' last chance to rally, put a win on the board, and then potentially play against the other teams in this group to try and recover a chance of making it to the playoffs.
Absolutely. And Bakery, you've been, you know, very reserved when it comes to hyping up the United Kingdom squad. What's the reason for it?
Well, the reason for it is, I think we have Lampy, we have Go the West, we have some solid players, and in scrims, actually, we did see a lot of coordination, but after seeing them play against France, it was so dominant from France, and we saw today France actually did quite struggle. So I'm trying to reevaluate where I put the UK, and it's tough for me to place them highly, but I still have a lot of faith, and if everything pulls together properly, then we have a potentially strong lineup.
Let's talk about Finland here. Finland was a team that many consider to be pretty good.
Yeah.
First and foremost because of their star player Tix, who is a legend in the European Open division that you were casting for a long time.
Yes, he is, and he has always impressed. He's played for some of the top teams in the European Open division. But I think Bakery gave a really good descriptor for Team UK that can really be applied here as well. Potentially strong as a roster. But right now, that potential isn't showing, and we need to see it or we're not going to believe it.
See, Tix is probably one of the best players in this tournament, but both him and his team did not perform anything close to that in the game they showed on day one. So they're going to have to step up big time to impress here.
Yeah, and as always here in this tournament, in the Nexus games, a lot comes down to the battleground. Probably more so than in any other tournament format we've got, because the community could sneak in a couple of those sneaky battlegrounds, and we just saw one in the previous set, Blackheart's Bay, and it felt awkward but awesome at the same time, casting it after so long.
Exactly. We're only down to 2 battlegrounds that have not been played in this map pool yet, and those are Warhead Junction and the Haunted Mine. So we still have many days left to see those, but for now, like you said, it was an interesting experience seeing Blackheart's Bay.
Very nostalgic.
Again. Very nostalgia was the word.
There we go. So without further ado, let's find out which battlegrounds are definitely not going to be played in this set, because as always, both teams have 1 ban each. Looks like the UK doesn't want to play on the Warhead Junction.
That Warhead been the first ban every single game today?
I think so. Above Blackhearts, although Blackhearts does make it into the ban phase this time. So that does leave Haunted Mines, one of our 2 maps we have not seen played. But I am going to assume that it would be UK picking it. I'm assuming that's not the direction they want to go.
Yeah, the Haunted Mine's also very strange in a competitive environment, because there's many things that the teams may not be aware of, may not be expecting. I think on Blackheart's Bay, nobody expected this permanent back and forth between Junkrat and Probius.
I've changed my mind. I think the UK could actually go for the Haunted Mines, because if you, from their performance, if you needed to take someone out of their comfort zone, if you want to stick to it,
want to give it a shot?
Yes, I do.
What do you think is going to be our first battleground?
I'm also hoping it's Mines. I want the UK to really put out something completely unexpected, show that coordination and preparation that me and Tetcha did witness in scrims, but did not witness in the Nexus game.
Now we've said that, Cursed or Infernal?
It starts with the T.
Towers, okay.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, my
friend. It wasn't bad. It was bad every other time. I thought it was let through this time because they wanted to pick it.
There we go.
But oh well.
So the thing is, Team UK, game number 1 on Playday number 1, they didn't look good on it.
No, very true.
Well, you say that, but at the same time, they did get an early game lead against France. They did get the first turn-in. After that, they did not look very good on it. But I still think that did show some potential.
Do you think it is likely for a team like Finland to maybe copy the style of the French team when they saw how well it worked against UK?
It's not really a style of the French team, it's just a comp that really works on the map. So I would not be surprised to see them run a very similar style.
Other than the Zagara,
yes. Yeah. The Zagara I don't know if anyone in Finland can play it. If they can, there are other options potentially, though, that could work better for them.
Bakery, would you say that copying a style or copying a hero like Zagara is doable overnight? Or do you have to have a long preparation phase in order to master the hero?
I think it definitely depends. If you have a player on your team that is already proficient on Zagara, then you can definitely learn to play it as a team in this one-day break that we had. But if none of their players were comfortable with Zagara, then that's definitely not a route that I would like to see them go.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do Bakery and Tetcher a favor, then cheer for the UK team by dropping a hashtag UK win in the Twitch chat right now.
And your energy.
Desperately needed. Or if you want to make them a little bit madder and angrier than they already are, then type in hashtag FIWin if you want the Finns to win.
So, Tracer immediately banned out by Finland, and this is one of Lampy's top picks, and we have actually seen Carry play it as well, so with 2 strong Tracer players on the Team UK, it's a very fair ban by Finland.
Definitely true. Definitely true. The Tracer is a hero that you have to expect when you see Lampy. Actually, it's funny to see how Tracer continues to leave her mark on the Nexus game. Nunia in the set before. We see Lampy. We see a couple of other Tracers around the environment here. It's pretty interesting.
Firstly, Veigar secured for first pick. So, when we spoke about Finland last time, we said how much we want to see them pick these stable hyper carry compositions that let picks shine. Where it looks like they've opted for the standard Veigar, while on the United Kingdom side, they've picked the Valatassadar.
Valatassadar leaving the Grey main over to Finland, so they can still go for that Grey main Rhaegar, which is very effective. So both teams already starting off with drafts that just work.
I want to open a new topic of discussion here, guys. Once again, support related, because I want to utilize this chance of speaking to Bakery.
How about those supports, mate?
No, that's fine. That's fine. I wanted to mention Ariel because she's been a guaranteed first pick or ban for a long period of time across many regions. What happened to her?
The thing with Oriel is as soon as Bursting Light was removed from level 7, she got a lot weaker to the point where some people think she's not even viable anymore. The issue with Oriel is that she's very predictable. There's one style and there's clear weaknesses. So when you pick this Valor, they are already thinking about Oriel and they're already thinking, how do we play against it? How do we counter it? In terms of outside of the team fight, Oriel does not bring as much as most other supports. She brings a very unreliable CC. She brings a blind, but only in the later games. She brings not much damage and not much wave clear either. So it's really, you have to commit so much to it. And ever since that removal of Bursting Light, there's so many weaknesses, even in her strongest area, that it's very often not justifiable to pick her.
Yeah, nope, I would agree on that. Ariel has dropped off so significantly, which is why we have seen her once, and it was rather unsuccessful.
Yeah, I think it was the single Ariel support by the Danish team.
The Swedish team.
No, the Swedish team.
Tomb of the
There
Spider
we
Queen,
go.
actually.
So instead, the highest pick parity we have seen so far on the Ana, along with a Sonya coming in here. Now, the fact is, this is just a Cho'Gall comp again.
I was thinking exactly that, my friend. They have the Sonya for bot lane. They have the perfect 2 double supports for the Cho'Gall. They even banned the Malphite. So at this point, are they baiting or is this actually going to happen?
UK aren't reacting to it. Valor has Manticore and Tassadar has potential percentage damage. Have we been bamboozled?
It's not locked in yet. And that leads me to believe we're moving away from it, I think.
Yeah, it should be, if they are going that far, it should probably be an insta-lock. So it is becoming less likely by the second.
So the 2 times we saw Cho'Gall being locked in, it was always in Dragonshire. Do you think Tomb of the Spider Queen would be a solid map to pick it from the first place?
Yeah, I think Tomb and Dragon have a lot of similarities in the way that the rotations work. And I think Tomb is a map where we actually saw Cho'Gall first, when Cho'Gall was successful, especially in the open division, going back about 8 months, I would say, to Zealots.
Absolutely.
And their proficiency with Cho'Gall, specifically on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Exactly, due to the fact that it's such a small map, rotations are easy, and when you have one less body, that's a big deal. In this case, though, not the case, but instead, the Arc Lich of Naxxramas, the Lich Lord of the Plaguelands, not all of them. I used to be able to, but
I know, you did it on my broadcast.
Himself. Petter of Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh, Stone Enthusiast.
Yeah.
The only one I remember.
And a Genji.
Anyway, Kel'Thuzad, we were talking about hyper carries, we were talking about enabling that. Well, they've got double support, but they don't have an auto attacker. They only have a ranged assassin. Isn't that enough?
Sonya sort of fits in as a melee mage. She can kind of fit the auto-attacking style, but it is still quite dangerous. I see your issue. They seem to be very much committed to the blow-up with the assistance of Ana denying healing.
I think it's safe to say that I've never seen a nano-boosted Kel'Thuzad. And
Ooh,
if you bring the cooldown reduction into the frame, then I think, first of all, stacking up if he is not fully stacked at level 10 is going to be much easier. And more importantly, the late game damage after acquiring his passive trait is going to be much more devastating than before.
I agree. I didn't think of that. I will
see. I have seen a nano boosted Kel'Thuzad. It was Mene on it, so yeah, my information might be a bit slanted away from reality.
How did you enjoy it?
Yeah. He had a great time, I'll tell you. He had a great time that game.
On a scale of feeding to absolutely terrifying, where
absolutely terrifying, all the way up there. So my vote's on Finland.
All right.
All right. Let's actually see what our fans, the community out there has to say. 61 rooting in favor of the Finnish team.
Yep, and I don't blame them. I mean, there's even the potential for Sonya going with a bit of a leap here and just absolutely committing to this one-shot style. As much as I like the idea of Valor to set up for a Genji, I'm also leaning towards Finland.
Now, before we go into this first game, I want to ask you guys which heroic ability you think we're going to see. Is it going to be the Frost Blast or the Dark Fissure?
I think it might be the Shadow Fissure, I gotta say. Frost Blast has a very long cooldown, and it's not often conducive to the type of style that Kel'Thuzad plays.
Even with a lack of cleanse, I agree with Bakery. The Shadow Fissure really does lend itself to this blow-up style I think we will be seeing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye on the Kel'Thuzad as Tetcher, my boy, is going to introduce Team Finland to you.
Spawning on the left-hand side, it is Team Finland with Delduin on the Sonya, Tix on the Kel'Thuzad, MXD is playing on the Ana, Klefter on the Rhaegar, and Giskifish is playing the Muradin.
And the United Kingdom team consists of Billy on the Lucio, we've got Kari on that Genji, Lampy plays the Vala, Khan on that Tassadar, and God of the West, aka GOTW, plays the main tank, plays Johanna.
And wave clear-wise, UK does have a very solid comp, but Finland do as well. Whirlwind, all of Kel'Thuzad, and of course, Rhaegar is going to have a very nice time in terms of clearing the lanes and the mercenaries, Bruiser camps when they spawn, and the Siege Giant camp if they're able to sneak it in.
And Johanna once again going for that Fanaticism at level 1. Ah, it's hold your ground, gotcha this time!
Every time.
No, this time I got it right, it's hold your ground.
Oh, yeah, it is hold your ground.
See, my co-caster didn't even notice that I was going for the wrong talent the entire time.
Yes, clearly intentional. And we do see the route landing down.
Shout out to the one person that tweeted at me, actually, that fanaticism, it's hold your ground. But I was actually very grateful. I was very grateful, so thank you for letting me know.
So, level 1, the Plague Lands coming in for the Kel'Thuzad, going for the beginnings of that Q-based build.
Yeah, definitely true. The Q build we need to talk about. For the longest part, Kel'Thuzad was mainly played to go for the late game burst damage, especially after reaching the level 16, the Empowered Frost Nova, which would apply extra damage whenever an ability ticked damage.
Yep.
That has shifted kind of, especially on a map like Doom where wave clear is king. You need to go for a lot of early game domination, and the Q build is just perfectly designed for that.
And this is actually a situation where, like you said, the blow up comp, that incredible burst damage is the build that we saw in basically every single region.
Wired skin, by the way.
The West gets out. But yeah, every single region we would always see the burst build, except for the one me and Kendrick cast, where we saw basically one Kel'Thuzad total, and it was the Q build.
I think it was KTY from CE who played it, right?
It was.
Yeah. That was really cool to see. And they won with it.
They did.
Because we cannot underestimate the late game power that comes from this build as well. You go for the level 20. You have that little Wraith Demon Undead Ghost that copies
mimics it.
Yeah, that copies your Q. And
yeah, what is that one called? Shade?
Something Mimic, I think.
Shifting Malice. The Damned Return.
The Damned Return. Yeah. And that brings me back to the good old Warcraft 3 days when you would summon an Acolyte and it says, the Damned Return.
Oh, nice.
And
those games have the best voice acting.
Warcraft 3 was amazing, and I was an undead main, actually.
Ah, so you are very familiar with the game.
I'm very familiar. I was playing Warcraft 3 when you had the infamous Dreadlord Ghoul Sleep Surround tactics. Most of you guys probably weren't playing computer games when that was available, and now I feel really old about it. No, just kidding. If you play Warcraft 3, you probably know what I'm talking about.
So we do end up seeing the phylactery of Kel'Thuzad. You fools! One of his poke lines there. You were so busy looting me, you didn't find my phylactery. As we see God of the West once again moving away from Klepta.
Absolutely true. Now we see a very interesting adjustment on the Rhaegar as well. Normally, Klepter, we're only used to seeing the healing totem, but now we've got the Spirit Walker's Grace, and that makes a lot of sense if you want to have reliable AoE healing, combine that with Tidal Waves at 16, and you're going to have a lot of healing with very little mana cost.
Yep, Lampy takes some serious damage there from the combination of Thelduin and even MXD, dropping the Sleeping Dart with the combination of Overdose. Tix getting focused down here, and he will die, and he was nowhere near stacked on that phylactery.
And once again, we see Tix falls, unfortunately, and Bakery brought it up during the draft. Tix is probably one of the strongest, if not the strongest player in the tournament. He is part, or he was part of 4K MMR, dominating the open division in Europe for a long period of time, but it doesn't seem to have clicked yet with the team. They really need to work a little bit more on the overall team synergy, I feel.
We will see, though, if that Kel'Thuzad can be the being that carries them to a victory in this series. The Sleep Dart does not land on Carry this time. Carry also, once again, saw him on Tracer a lot of times, this time on the Genji. Another hero who can be incredibly impactful for Team UK.
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially if he gets the shields and the heals from Lucio and Tassadar. Later on, like per se, if you take a look at Team Finland, there's not a lot they can do against that Genji. Unless Murden goes maybe for the Haymaker, so he...
We see the Murden in the backline. Backline assassin. Lappy gets the shield though, and with that leeching plasma is able to heal a huge amount of health back.
They invested so much time and efforts though to destroy the Bala, and since it didn't work out, we can see on the bottom left corner, the Wave Bearers have been doing their naughty work onto the different lanes, and the UK is getting a lot of structural value here right now.
Turns out the UK are really good at getting the first turn, and the difference is this time they're getting towers from it. Last time, France were able to shut down the Web Weaver push without too many difficulties.
We can already say that the UK established or achieved more in this game alone than in the entire series against France. They're showing up strong here, taking the experience lead, having a good early rotation, destroying a lot of buildings, and keeping the Finnish team in their own half of the base.
So Kel'Thuzad, as you can see here, has gone for the Glacial Spike at level 7. So he is still going for at least some kind of blow-up. Just instead of the level 1 chains, the barbed chains, which can reduce armor, he is instead going for the Plague Land to do some more damage over time. If the initial burst doesn't kill them, he can do a little bit more. Thelduin is in trouble and gets taken out.
And he dropped a lot of gems. There was no way for him to get out, so the move he made was not too shabby. He tried to stay close to the Vala so he could get more life leech in from the Whirlwind. In the end, of course, against 3 people at the same time, there was only so much he could do.
So Johanna is once again going for the bravery the size of a space hopper build at level 7.
Yeah, the Subdue. A very cool choice, especially if you face a couple of melees. And with Rhaegar, Muradin, and Sonya in the mix, chances of hitting at least 3, not too shabby.
Yeah, we've seen it stacked once already. It has happened. Pulls in Billy. Interesting style there. The God of the West can pop his Iron Skin, and with the chain already attached to him, it hits Billy, and he doesn't move because he's unstoppable. So it pulls Billy towards him.
Very cool, very tricky. Now, I would actually love to see how many stacks Tix has on that Kel'Thuzad already, but of course we're going to find out after a while once we see the quest notification on the left-hand side of your screen. And as we're getting closer to level 10, I'm looking so much forward to seeing the level 10. Is it going to be the Shadow Fissure that we talked about, or maybe a Frost Blast to keep all those highly mobile heroes in check?
So we do have just so much burst damage from Finland. Even Muradin has gone for give him the axe. So they are so committed, I would say, to this blow-up. I would be so surprised if it was anything but the Shadow Fissure.
Can you do a good Scottish accent?
No, absolutely not. I wish I could, but unfortunately I can't, because the Scottish have an amazing accent.
Absolutely. Probably one of the coolest there is. Now, in the meantime, the UK, they're using their level 10 advantage to the fullest. Nice chains here by Tix. Unfortunately, the UK know exactly how to dodge those.
Here's level 10. There is the Shadow Fissure along with the Nano Boost. So we are going to see no leap on the Sonya. She is just committed to that extra frontline pressure.
And this is now the moment in time for the Finnish team to gain a little bit of ground back. They turned in the first wave beaver wave. They're going to try to siege up very nicely, but Johanna, so many shields, so much protection, but MXD stays safe.
Billy breaks it down, and we see Sonya taken out. Carry surviving in the backline as well, and UK are looking good. 3 kills to 0.
And all of a sudden, this takes all the wind of the sails here for the Finnish team. Without one of their main damage dealers, Sonya, there is no way they can maintain that momentum up. And the UK team is just going to go top and bottom and destroy the spiders without them even reaching the towers.
Billy has been doing such a good job. It's always God of the West who gets hit by the first chain because he is the most furthest forward. Billy is second furthest forward, keeping everyone else mobile and heal. But because he's always staying mobile, always microing, it's very hard to hit him with chains, meaning that so far, Kel'Thuzad has not landed a combo.
I want everybody to watch Tix, though. He only needs one good combo, one chain into Shadow Fissure, and it could be it.
He still might die. Carry's chasing Steve to eat a poison spear for his audacity.
All right. Why does nobody take care of the bottom camp here? I think the UK could have actually taken it.
Probably.
Don't underestimate the importance of the siege giants. We talked about that a lot, especially when you have a lot of gems in your pockets. You can take the siege giants, cause a distraction in the bottom, and then cycle around the top lane and turn in. Or you can just turn in because nobody cares about it.
Especially when you already have no fort left in the bot lane, so you can keep the pressure on that way. It forces more of a reaction because it can get to the tier 2s. Again, the chain not landing. On the bright side, though, Kel'Thuzad just stacked his phylactery.
Absolutely true. The Kel'Thuzad, how impactful can he be? Yeah, no problem.
I've done it, which I'm going to be mad at that one.
You want me to tell you something that brightens you up?
Yeah.
Bakery did it too in the past.
Yay! I didn't even notice. Oh well. As the Web Weaver comes down, we're going to see the pressure onto the top lane from Team UK.
There we go. There we go. This is a big moment for the United Kingdom. The top lane considered to be one of the most important, if not the most important lanes on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Spike,
the boss, and here we come. The siege battle has begun.
Extra Spike expires. He did not land the chain. Was not able to pull anyone in. Tix desperately wants to land this combo. The sleep is landed onto Valas, God of the West. Looks for the potential engage opportunity. Tix is taking a lot of damage, but gets cleansed down. Lappy doesn't get rooted again. Good avoidance here by Team UK.
Absolutely. The Finnish team, though, they're holding their own. They have not taken too much damage onto the top lane, but they also need to defend 2 more lanes, middle and bottom. Those are all being sieged up right now. And Tix, all he needs to do is land it with a good 2-chain combo and fill it all in. There we go. There goes the chains, but
didn't have the root ready. He was too far back as well. Nice sleep onto God of the West again, but he was woken up by the Plague Lance there.
Yep. What would it feel like to wake up with a Plague Lance all of a sudden?
I would not be pleased. It's not my favorite place to wake up in Azeroth.
If you could choose any location in Azeroth to wake up in, which one would it be?
Ooh, can I pick any period in time?
Absolutely.
I would like to see Draenor before it was properly taken over.
Want to know where I want to wake up?
Where?
I want to wake up in Variant's bed in Stormwind.
Oh my. Each to their own, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you want to be Variant or with Variant?
That depends on the time.
That's the important question.
It depends on how old Anduin would be, because if he was still a child, I can figure him being a little bit difficult to raise, you know? So
that's true. That's fair. That's fair. You don't want to deal with the father.
No.
But now we do see Finland, they are doing a good job clearing. They're keeping themselves in this game, but if you look at the structures, this is looking very similar to some of the other games we've seen on this map from France even. Just dominating the structure game.
Absolutely. 13 to 15. That is the time for the Finnish team to make a move. 16 is around the corner, but that's easier said than done. They do have enough gems, though. 56 out of 55. All they need to do now is lure the United Kingdom into one of those choke points near the turn-in areas. But look at Khan on that Tassadar. This is where Tassadar excels at. Strong vision, and he's so elusive that the Finnish team just can't really go for him. There's always going to be that dimensional shift, the range, the oracle.
Khan and Khan, Carry, and Billy have just been hyper-mobile and so hard to lock down. Lampy has eaten the most hits, but with the amount of protection he's getting, it really hasn't been an issue.
Look at Tex here, spawning the Glacial Spike, but not hitting on anyone else, unfortunately.
Nano Boost has been activated. It's on Sonya? Yeah, it's on Sonya.
It was on Sonya.
Okay, that's cool. Fun to put it on.
So the thing is, I think MXD on the Ana was expecting Sonya to basically keep on chasing. And if you have a Nano Boost in Sonya, all of a sudden you have slams 24/7 all the time.
Slams for days.
Spears too.
That could be great. Spears for days. Speaking of spears for days, we're seeing a sniper attempt on Khan, but he just makes it out of the Shadow Fissure. Lampy is poked from behind, but he's being zoned out by the totem. Good Bless Shield coming in from the Johanna. And they'll do it. The Dragon Blade focusing on yes, Central can land. Lampy is getting focused as well, but he easily turns it round as the Dragon Blade chased down MXD. Collector getting slowed by God of the West as Lampy is chasing down to assist, but Kiski Fish could punish them here.
Double kill,
he is
triple.
So outnumbered. He leaps over the wall, but again, he's not letting him go. The Storm Bolt will be enough to save Kiski Fish. That's almost 4-0.
Yeah, almost a clean ace here for the UK team. That red skull next to Kel'Thuzad's portrait, by the way, means that the phylactery is fully stacked, and if he wanted to, he could activate it to immediately respawn. However, he would lose all of his life leech in the progress.
Yeah, but the phylactery gives him spell drain.
Spell drain, basically. That's a better way of describing it.
Yeah, gives him a life steal on his spells.
Exactly.
And he can activate it, but he loses all his stacks. He has gone, by the way, for the Chains of Ice, the extra slow here.
And it is almost dramatic to see how 1 second changed the entire outcome for the Finnish team. If that Ancestral had landed a little bit earlier, Genji would have not killed Rhaegar, and he would have not got the resets to make him snowball even harder.
Absolutely, and right now, Team Finland on the defense. The keep is now under pressure. Boss is very healthy, but Kel'Thuzad is pinging it with abilities.
Yeah, the White Beavers are also following and heeding the call. And with that boss, I think the base, the blue base of the Finnish team is in a lot of trouble.
Shadow Fissure doesn't land. But Johanna just completed the stack. She just completed the level 7 quest, so well done. And we do see Muradin also completing the Storm Bolt. So they have a lot of lockdown now.
Yeah, from now on, the Q of Johanna is always going to slow for 80%, and it's not fading. So you're going to have a 2-second slow, I believe, for 80%, which is huge.
So the core will survive. Web Weavers are cleared up, but Team UK looking very strong right now.
Absolutely. Ana needs to hold everyone in good shape. Same goes for Rhaegar. The Ancestral Healing is on cooldown though. 67. That's a long cooldown. They're not looking too good on the heroic abilities in general. The bottom lane also getting pushed in heavily, and it's all on Tix to make that play that turns the entire game around.
Nano Boost is back, but guess what is an Ancestral Healing? One of the big saving abilities. God of the West playing so far forward, so aggressively. Carry, though, taking a lot of damage, and the anti-heal grenade was very solid. Chain is dropped onto God of the West. Second chain onto the spike. Pulls it back with the sound barrier. Keeps him alive. He's trying to turn it round. He's able to get the speed boost out. And God of the West survives. Kel'Thuzad goes down, as does Muradin and Sonya. Kel'Thuzad not even reviving here. He may need to, though.
He may need to. I think he has to. He can no longer afford to stay dead in the Hollow Storms.
Yeah, he's waiting too long. Core is under attack here. He may just think it's not worth it. The game might be over for him right now as he's holding the line as the core drops down. And that is going to be it. That is GG as we do see Team UK take game #1.
Very well played. A very solid performance by the UK team. Finally getting that first victory in a series under their belt. What do you feel right now, Tetcher, when you see that result?
I'm wondering where this was yesterday, quite frankly. So this is either a situation of Team Finland are severely underperforming from what people hoped, or the other two teams in this group are just that much of a higher level.
And the second Brit, Bakery.
I'm proud of my boys.
Yeah!
They're doing well.
Finally!
Great job, guys.
Yeah, that was really well executed, honestly. That was super solid.
Yeah, they were super clean. I mean, Finland did have some issues, let's be fair. But at the same time, UK were forcing mistakes. They were completely on top of that game.
A completely different team to what we saw on Tuesday. So I am very chuffed by that.
Absolutely. And they've overcome their weakness on Tomb of Spider Queen as well. They look like a completely different team, as you said. We also have to question, though, what the Finnish performance or what the Finnish form right now is, because even when a player like Tix can't really get the full potential done, that's a big problem.
Well, we'll have the potential to look at both of those factors in my first
Gotcha.
deep fight here, which is the United Kingdom. They already have control of the game, but this is Finland's chance to come back. So immediately, you're going to see Mjolnir. He's going to stand with Tassa. Sonya spears. He does not quite connect the slam. So close. Takes slightly misses the Shadow Fissure to last hit him. And now they're in a bad position. Blessio comes out. And look at this. The Cleftor. We need the Ancestral. It needs to come out to Tix right now. It's 1 second too late. Tix goes down, and that is the end of the team fight. 16 has been hit for United Kingdom. They didn't actually anyone level it up yet, but they don't need it because apparently they are steamrolling this team fight with carry on that fantastic Genji.
Yeah, absolutely. Very clean Genji combo, slicing and dicing his way in and out. But you're very right, Bakery. Sometimes those ancestor healings needs to come earlier. It needs to be done when the target is at 50%, not at 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, as soon as the Genji comes in and he's on your Kel'Thuzad, the Ancestral needs to come out. In the mid lane, I don't have a replay, I'm afraid, but we did see a very similar situation where this time it was onto Anna, and he cast it much earlier. But then the Sonya was completely out of position and did end up going down instead. So definitely team communication issues coming out from Finland. Definite synergy issues, but also some severe play issues as well.
Yeah. Kel'Thuzad, yay or nay?
Yeah, if you could land the combos, but then I
have to say nay. The combos were not landing. Was he stacked that game? Do you guys know?
I haven't seen a notification. Definitely not the second part of it.
For Lackery. Yeah. That's something, and then didn't use it.
Are you sure he had it stacked? Because obviously he was in the base.
That's what the tombstone means, right? I thought that was the tombstone on the Death Tower.
Yeah, the red skull next to the...
I also thought that, but the fact that he didn't use it, we have to put a question. Was he able to stack any of his quests that game?
It definitely not Blight. I can guarantee that. And he definitely did stack Factory because we did get notification. He might have used it and we didn't notice, but either way, that's still not ideal.
It's a rough game. It's a rough game.